Missing and murdered is preventable, and I 100% believe that, and I always will. It's going to take everybody, and it can create a community where it no longer exists if we believe in it. Bonjour, Indigenous, my name is Guadalupe Lopez. I am the Office Director of the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Relatives Office for the state of Minnesota within the Office of Justice and Programs. Our office was created from a task force that was created in 2019, and within that report, the legislature wrote our office into law. And we have been in existence since 2021, but fully staffed since 2023. And I have recently joined the team as the newest member as of July 30th, 2025. What we do is we support families with cases for murdered and missing relatives. We also do systems advocacy, and we raise public awareness around the issue of missing and murdered Indigenous relatives.
Well, I was at home one night and my son got a call from my sister Gladys. He said something was going on at Peter's house. He goes, I'm gonna run up there. I was like, all right, let me know what's going on when you get back. Probably about maybe an hour, 2 hours went by. He came home. He said, Peter's missing. I was like, what? And then they said they were gonna start a search and had to go to work the next day. So I went to work and then I told my boss, I'm gonna go up and help.
Peter Martin is a Fond du Lac band member of Lake Superior, Chippewa. He grew up on the reservation. He was mainly a homebody, and he loved hanging out with his family and friends and mostly playing basketball. He went missing on March 8th, 2024.
There's 12 of us, 5 brothers and 7 sisters. He was the youngest. He lived here on Monoman, the Brookston district.
I think that one of the reasons why this office is so important, it's a complement of what already the community has been doing around missing and murdered all across the state. We know that we are, not the only ones doing this work. There are boots on the ground that are constantly raising awareness and supporting families, and we just want to make sure that we are holding that for the state of Minnesota as well with this office. Our reward fund that we just released and launched in July of 2025, just this summer, we recognized that we wanted a program that community members could actually share and help solve cases, but also there was going to be more justice and accountability for the families that needed that around our missing and murdered relatives. It has been slow starting, but we are not an investigative program or office, so we really adhere to what relationships with law enforcement and working with and being the liaison to families about tips and what comes in. So it is, we're just newly starting it, but it's going, and I'm excited to see how it grows from here.
The MMIR came to us as soon as they heard, because Tani Savage is pretty close with the family, so she helped us from the get-go, and she put us in contact with an advocate, and so they've kept in contact with us.
I think it's really important. I know I didn't fully interact with them, but I'm more than grateful that they're out there helping us and many more families that need help, and I know there's a lot of resources and they have huge support with the families, and we're more than happy to talk to them and reach out to them again.
Well, we are 5 people for the whole state and 11 tribes. So we are, tiny but mighty is what I say. But we have dedicated staff, and we also have advisory committees that actually help lead us and advise the work that is done around the state. And we have 20 advisory council members. And they are from different, going all the way from systems-based people to impacted families to advocacy programs and social services. So having that expertise has helped this office kind of navigate the blueprint that we are creating currently. There is no outline for this kind of specific work. We are kind of creating it as community members, as system partners, and what do we need to do to create safety and justice for missing and murdered Indigenous people. So we have partnered with DVS, Department of Vehicle Services, to actually create a license plate, and it was announced of July of 2025 this year. And I know that there has been, multiple people working on that, and that money, $25 of a renewal once you have that plate, actually goes into the reward fund. And currently right now we have at least raised $100,000 that has been deposited into the reward fund that helps the families with public awareness and searching currently right now, which is very exciting.
That is a big help. I am glad there's agencies out there who are willing to help. And I do hope it helps somebody come forward, even if it's a tip that will lead to finding my brother. As far as the reward goes, the BIA put up $5,000 in the beginning, and it raised up to MMIR. Reward put up 10,000, so the reward is up to 15,000. I hope that will get at least somebody to say something or talk or give up more information, even if it's anonymous or a phone call or something. Say something.
So the Gagagay Mikwendikoziwag actually started as a grassroots effort in Duluth. And so there was organizers there that had wanted to raise awareness and also recognizing there's a financial cost to looking for our loved ones. And whether it's poster distribution, flyer distribution, lodging, depending if you have volunteers, food, all of these things that people may not necessarily think of what you would need. And so when the reward fund was named, is that I know that activists and legislators have worked together to make sure that that name was put in place. And it means that they will be remembered forever, which is beautiful.
It's a mix of emotions and a roller coaster of emotions with the community. It was more support and just helpfulness and the fact that we get together. And at first it was really overwhelming. Like my mom said, it was more than 60 people helping us, and I know they have a life and family, but for me it still means a lot that they actually thought about us and took their time to come help us and show us their support and letting us know that we're not alone. But yeah.
The tip line is one of a kind, so is this office. And you get people together that have the same kind of purpose of wanting to have justice and resolution for some of the heinous crimes that our community is experiencing, then you get to dream together. And so that group that thought that the tip line should be something implemented first of its kind, I applaud them. And I'm so glad that I get to be working with the community and this office to see how this goes, and to be like our plant relatives, very strong but bendable, and to take on what's next after that and see what's successful, and making sure that we're moving as such. I want to say that the TIP program really merges with the whole aspect of the office in the way that we are trying to find other ways and initiatives to receive understanding, information, to solve cases, to help family members, to create justice for families that they're looking for their loved ones, or conclusions or convictions for unsolved murder cases. And it is part of the responsibility that I think we have as the state, but also as community members trying to make a safer Minnesota.
I'm hoping that it'll make people more comfortable reaching out to them and not having any hesitation of finding a resource or knowing right off the bat that there's a resource out there for them and they're not alone. No one's ever alone, even if it feels like we're alone. We're always going to have someone there to help guide us through.
MMIR, they have a lot of resources that help, and there has been a couple of people on the FDLPD who have been really in contact with us and ask how we're doing from every now and then and keep in touch with us. I just want everybody to keep an eye on each other, and if you don't hear from somebody, give them a call. Even if you do hear from them, it's nice to call somebody once in a while or visit them. Just watch out for each other.
There's like a spiritual component to this work that we need to recognize. For all the reasons we don't always have the same beliefs, but I think it is really important to always bring who you are to this. And I know as an Indigenous people, we might not always have the same beliefs, but it is important to recognize where we came from and the origin. And this helps the history or the herstory of traction of how this came to be and what work will become from this. And and I think that when people are actually putting down tobacco and they are being in a good prayerful space to actually ask for help and support from helpers and whatever creation or however they pray, you can't ignore that. That's the whole point of we can't do this alone and without other humans, without all of those other aspects.
Through collaboration, advocacy, and community leadership, Minnesota's MMIR Office is helping build a future where Indigenous relatives are protected, supported, and never forgotten. As Guadalupe reminds us, ending this crisis requires all of us, families, systems, and communities moving together with purpose. And with each new effort from the advisory councils to the reward fund, the path towards justice grows stronger.